All right, thank you, ladies. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Jermaine Reesford.
Mr. Say your last name again?
Reesford.
Reestifer?
Yeah.
All right. Sir, you're here this morning. It's case 2021 MM 3737AO on a charge of resisting officer without violence and trespass in the structure. Count one is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Count two is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Ms. George, this is a public defender client. Is there a resolution in this case, or you're entering a plea on behalf of your client?
No, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, sir, I want to set your plea of not guilty. I'm going to set you for Division 85.
Division 85, pre-trial conference, June 28th at 9 a.m. in 4A.
Got two cases, I think I got you. All right. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Joe Paul Wilson Jr.
Mr. Wilson, you're here today in 2021 MM 2783AO on a charge of petty theft. That is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Ms. George is also a public defender client. Is there a resolution or do you have a plea you want to enter on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to Family Dollar, restitution in the amount of $40 to Family Dollar. I did go over all the rights with Mr. Wilson. He understands those rights and would like to enter a plea of no contest.
Mr. Wilson, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 2783AO on charge of petty theft. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Ms. George is telling me that you want to enter a plea of no contest to these charges. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on that plea form in front of you?
Yes.
Do you understand that a conviction in this case at a later date can be used to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony if you're arrested for this charge again?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes.
What was that mental health illness?
Bipolar and manic and anxiety.
Right. Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of those mental health illnesses right now?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
Do the parties stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor, for the purposes of the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Based on that stipulation, the court will find a factual basis for the purpose of your entering of your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest, finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I will adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 41 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 41 days credit time served. The court costs and cost of prosecution in this case are $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. There'll be $40 of restitution paid to Family Dollar in this case. All these costs I'll make payable to the clerk within 2 years of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great day.
Your Honor, may I approach with the restitution order?
Yes, ma'am. 40. 40. 40. Two years. Yes, ma'am. All right, counsel, you can put your name on the record.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Zach Stumbos, nice to see you, sir.
Good morning. Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Amber Walker.
Ms. Walker, you're here in case 2021 CF 6663 AO on charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, battery domestic violence, and resisting officer without violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Sir, can you tell me your name, please, and spell your last name?
Stephen Scott, SCOTT.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, sir, can you tell me how you know Ms. Walker?
She is my fiance.
And do you want to have contact with Ms. Walker while this case is pending?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
Currently, yes.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
Yes.
When was the last time something like this happened?
Approximately 2 months ago.
All right. Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
This in particular one, no.
Has
I
it-
believe there's an allegation within the affidavit that she was intoxicated.
Yep.
She was intoxicated the night before, so I don't know. I mean, there was a 6-hour window. We went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and the incident happened at 6:30.
Okay.
So I can't speak for the level of intoxication.
All right. All right, counsel, you have any questions for the witness?
Just briefly, do you, it looks like you indicated that you'd like to have contact with Ms. Walker. Are you okay with no violent or offensive contact? Meaning you can talk on the phone, you can email, you can text?
Yes.
Do you want to have, because there is a no contact order here, which means that she can't be within 500 feet of the home that you've moved to now, correct? You've moved to another place,
Correct.
and I believe you're living with your aunt.
Yes.
With this no contact order that's currently in place, sir, she can't be within 500 feet of that residence. Would you
That's
like
fine.
that removed, or would you like
No,
that?
keep that, please.
Keep that, okay. So I assume then you would like to have contact with her via phone, via text, via email?
I mean, yes,
Or do you want to see her personally, face-to-face, somewhere else? Because we need to specify these things for the.
I mean, honestly, I'm in a tough spot right now because I love this girl with all my heart and I tried so freaking hard. But she needs help, man.
Well, I understand that there's been some mutual issues in the past, and I don't necessarily want to go into those right now that involve yourself, involve her, just because we're in a cooperative setting right now, so I don't want to get into that respectfully to you. But fundamentally, you want, Judge, I think we spelled out the appropriate contact that I think via phone, via email, via text is acceptable to my client. Is that correct? Yeah, Judge, the one big issue is, of course, the victim has moved out of the house and the home
Yeah.
at 544 Clayton Street, she owns it individually.
Right.
And of course, wants to go back there. The only question I have is with regard to the injury on your head. Did you receive any stitches for that?
No, the fire department deemed it just a surface wound, just clean up.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Judge, respectfully, the only thing I'd like to point out is I think the more appropriate allegation or the more appropriate probable cause would be the battery with a weapon versus a deadly weapon under the circumstances of a stiletto heel. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
I've taken.
I started to think, I had a case, what we call like a chicleta, which would be like a spongy bottom shoe. That I did agree with it, that might have been a deadly weapon, but I think if it was able to puncture, his skin, it could be used. In and of itself is not a deadly weapon, but the use of it could be cause some kind
Arguably,
of.
Judge, I
yeah.
mean, technically speaking, as we know, a weapon can be a pen, a pencil, anything, depending on how it's used, but that
Right.
still would be a weapon, in my estimation, respectfully. But it's, that argument might be for another day.
I think the case law focuses on the injury.
The use, correct.
Yeah, they don't really, the actual tool itself, except a pocket knife, is the only thing that, kind of has been
Yeah, I mean,
outlined as a non-deadly weapon, because otherwise the case law is
the
buried in
actual,
between as to anything else.
yes, sir, the actual statement is an object is a deadly weapon if it is used in a way likely to produce great bodily harm or death.
Correct.
Likely, not may.
Yeah.
So in our estimation, I think arguably it's a weapon versus a deadly weapon, but that might be for another day, and I'll accept
Yeah.
your finding, Judge.
I think for a probable cause determination, which
Yes,
is, substantially lower than than preponderance of the evidence,
Yes, sir.
that, I'm going to stay with the,
One thing I do request, Judge, is just the posting of a reasonable bond. I don't like pretrial release, and I respectfully request that we not be provided pretrial release. We just want to post a bond. Whatever conditions you wish to put on that bond is, of course, your authority and your power, and we will accept it.
I'm sorry. So I want to tell you what my thoughts are in reviewing this charging affidavit and kind of watching the testimony and the parties here, is that I don't think contact is appropriate right now.
Okay?
Now, it can be, obviously, these things can be modified with the division judge downtown and
Your Honor,
at a later date.
just for the record, she had a battery DV from 2019. That was no info due to the victim being unwilling to prosecute. It was a different victim than is here today.
Yeah.
Judge,
And
that's a
with-
whole other case, and in
Yeah, I
our
understand.
estimation, it wasn't even close for probable cause, in our opinion.
I
Are
don't,
you
on that
saying-
case, I don't know. I just, looking at what I need to look at, lethality factors, looking at when I'm viewing in front of me, I don't think my bond is appropriate. I think you think pretrial release is appropriate, otherwise I won't have to give her a bond. It's probably something that's, kind of on the higher end of where we, like usually what I would do. So I want to set bond in count one, amount of $2,000, count two, in the amount of $500. I'm going to stay your bond in count three, in the amount of $500. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision. You had no contact with the victim, ma'am. You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. Since he's already gone, you can go back to your home. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Obviously, all these things can be, yes, it's with pretrial release. Yes, ma'am. These are all things that can be modified at a later date, but, I only have what's in front of me right now. Some things develop later on, and the judge feels more appropriate forms of contact, either in writing. You guys don't have any children in common, correct?
Not together, but I
Yeah.
have my 6-year-old.
Yeah, so, like parenting apps, things like that, would usually be something that we consider, but not right now.
So, Judge, you want no contact whatsoever, phone, text, emails, nothing for now?
Right now.
You can contact me, and if you wait for me, I can give you some contact info. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Because
Judge.
it works a one-way street. She can't have any contact with him. But just telling you have contact with her, then,
That gets messy,
it
Judge.
gets messy.
Understood.
Usually involves in her getting arrested. So I tell people all the time, don't encourage it, because the person over here, this person is going to suffer my wrath for violating my court orders.
Yeah,
So-
Judge, to be honest with you, Mr. Scott, any contact probably is best through me versus reaching out, texting, because when she does back or answers, that's a violation of this court's order, and that's a problem.
Understood.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you, sir.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, hold on, give me 1 second here.
Sorry? I don't believe so. They'll give her some when she bonds.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, do you need an interpreter?
She said yes, Your Honor.
Take the headset.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn.
Good morning, Madam Interpreter. I have a case here that I need your help with where I have a defendant and a victim that needs your services. Stick with me for a moment. Can you ask the gentleman to tell me his name, please?
Señor, por favor, dígame su nombre.
Alberto Hernández Córdoba.
¿Cómo?
Alberto Hernández Córdoba.
Alberto Hernández Córdoba.
Sir, you're here this morning in case 2021 MM 3861AO on charge of battery domestic violence.
Señor, usted se encuentra aquí esta mañana ante la acusación 21MM 3861. Se le acusa de agresión física por violencia doméstica.
I did find probable cause for your arrest.
Determino que hay indicios de criminalidad para el arresto.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me?
Señora, por favor, dígame su nombre y apellido y deletree el apellido.
Jessica López y el apellido Lopez.
Jessica López, Lopez.
Ma'am, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Señora, por favor, levante la mano derecha para prestar juramento.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Y promete que el testimonio que va a prestar será la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad. ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Lo juro.
I swear.
Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Hernandez?
Señora, dígame por favor de qué conoce el señor Hernández.
Él es mi esposo.
He is my husband.
And do you want to have contact with your husband while this case is pending?
¿Usted desea tener contacto con su esposo mientras este caso esté pendiente?
Bueno, yo sí quiero que él tenga contacto conmigo y con los niños también, porque pues él la verdad no es una mala persona, él es una buena persona y no se me hace justo que él esté aquí, la verdad, porque él en ningún momento me tocó a mí, ni ha tocado a ninguno de mis niños, ni nada.
Well, yes, I do want to have contact with him, and I also want him to have contact with our children, because you see, he's not a bad person. He is a good person. I don't think it is fair that he is here because he never touched me and he never touched any of the children.
Ma'am, has anything like this happened before?
Señora, ¿algo similar a esto había ocurrido en el pasado?
Nunca, él lo puede revisar en el historial del que nunca ha tenido un caso o algo de violencia doméstica o algo nunca.
Never. You can check, and he has never had a case for domestic violence. Never.
Right. Well, that's only included in reported instances. A lot of domestic violence instances are never reported. That's why I asked the question, has something like this happened before?
Bueno, señora, yo le pregunto porque muchos de los incidentes de violencia doméstica no se informan y el historial solamente incluye los incidentes que han sido informados, por eso es que le hago esta pregunta.
Pero en mi caso yo le respondo que no, nunca.
Yes, but in this case, I'm telling you no, never.
All right. State, you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
¿La fiscalía tiene alguna pregunta para la testigo? No, su señoría.
Ms. George.
No, Your Honor.
Licenciada George, no, su señoría.
Mr. Hernandez, I want to set your bond in count one, amount of $250.
Señor Hernández, la fianza en el cargo número 1 se fija en la cantidad de $250.
It's going to come with pretrial release supervision.
Estará supervisado bajo el programa de libertad provisional.
Okay.
You to have no hostile contact with your wife.
Okay.
Se le prohíbe la hostilidad entre usted y su esposa.
Okay.
No hostile contact, it means this. You obviously cannot get physical with her.
Esto lo que significa es, primero, obviamente no puede ser agresivo con ella ni tener contacto físico agresivo.
In any way.
De manera alguna.
Okay.
There cannot be any threatening language between the both of you.
No puede utilizar lenguaje amenazador entre ustedes.
Because if somebody sees or hears you all arguing and calls the police, or she calls the police,
Porque si alguien los ve o los oye discutiendo y llama a la policía, o si ella llama a la policía,
you will be arrested.
usted será puesto bajo arresto.
You're spending the remainder of your time with this case here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Y va a tener que permanecer aquí conmigo en la cárcel del condado de Orange hasta que se termine con el caso. ¿Eso lo entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego. Si ahora mismo usted es dueño de algún arma o arma de fuego, tendrá que entregarla a las autoridades en un plazo de 24 horas luego de ser puesto en libertad.
No, no tengo.
You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
No, I don't have arms. También se le prohíbe la tenencia y consumo de alcohol y drogas sin receta válida.
Okay.
You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense.
Podría ser que se le solicite que se someta a una prueba de alcohol o drogas y tendrá que costearla usted.
Okay.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case.
Se designa a la oficina del abogado de oficio para que les represente ante esta acusación.
Have a great day, sir.
Que tenga buen día, señor.
Thank you.
I'm Madam Interpreter. I'm switching to the headsets now. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kidani Rivera Rolón.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't know if if we're connected.
I understand.
Please, Your Honor, let me try to connect again.
Yes, ma'am.
Sí.
There is contact now, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kidani Rivera Colón.
Kidani Rivera Colon.
Mr. Rivera Colon, you are here in case 2021 MM222AA on a charge of battery. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $3,000. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. I will give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You may not, excuse me,
What was the bond amount again?
3,000.
3,000?
Yes, ma'am. You may not be able to leave the Orange County Jail today if the United States government takes you into custody on a violation of probation. Do you understand that?
¿Me puedes repetirlo otra vez que no se oye bien?
Could you please repeat? I can't hear very well.
You cannot understand the interpreter, or you have a problem with volume?
No sé. Sí.
The
There's
volume
one way we
is
can
too
turn it up
low.
on, there's a volume knob on there.
Sí, ahora.
I can hear now.
Okay. Which part did you not hear?
Lo de la fianza y toda esa parte de la libertad, no entendí bien.
The last part regarding the bond, I didn't understand that quite well.
Your bond's $3,000. You cannot have any contact with the victim. You need to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return to get any personal items you have with law enforcement. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not be released from the jail today if the United States government takes you into custody on a violation of probation. Have a great day, sir. So. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Emilio Mendez.
Emilio Mendez.
Sir, you're here for arraignment in case 2019 CT 3231 AO. Charge of driving under the influence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 180 days in the Orange County Jail and a $1,000 fine.
Your Honor, it's a VOP.
Oh, so VOP, I'm sorry.
He also has a private attorney, Miss Allers. I believe was trying to be present. However, I explained to her that I didn't have an offer at this time and it would just be set for VOP status. So I guess she did not agree.
Well, she had to waive his, did she file a notice of appearance or send you a notice of appearance? Yes, ma'am. All right. All right, well, the public defender is appointed until Ms. Alvarez files a notice of appearance or you guys stipulate to a change in counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. No enter denial.
All right, Mr. Mendez, of course, going to accept your denial. We're going to set you for violation of probation status hearing in Division 81.
Status, July 12th at 9 a.m. in Fort Lee.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't hear the next date.
July 12th at 9 a.m. in Fort Lee.
Thank you.
Dexter, can you see, is there a knob on the other side?
No, sir.
All right. Can you email Ashley to have AV see if they can turn up the volume in the headsets? Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jorge Iván Ortiz. Jorge Iván Ortiz.
Jorge Iván Ortiz.
Jorge Ortiz.
Mr. Ortiz, you're here in case 2021 CT 2800 AO for arraignment on a charge of driving license suspended. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Ms. George, is there a resolution in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is offering adjudication of guilt, credit time served. I did have a chance to speak to Mr. Ortiz. He understands all the rights he would be given him, and he would like to accept the state's offer and enter the plea of no contest.
Mr. Ortiz, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I swear.
So you're being charged with this crime of driving license suspended. That's a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. You understand that?
Yes.
Ms. George is telling me you want to enter a plea of no contest. Is that correct?
Correcto.
Correct.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to be waiving all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
No entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
Do you understand the conviction in this case can be used at a later date to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
entiendo.
I understand.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No,
No,
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
no,
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
no,
no,
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
sí,
yes,
Do the parties stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor, for the purposes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ortiz, based on stipulation, the court is going to find a factual basis for your plea. I want to accept your plea of no contest, find that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. Give you credit for 8 days in Orange County Jail, 8 days credit time served. The court costs and cost of prosecution in this case of $306. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. I'll give you 2 years from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that, sir?
¿Tendría que hacer cárcel o solamente me suspende mi licencia? Se revoca la licencia.
would I have to go to jail and will my license be revoked?
Well, your license seems to be already revoked. I gave you credit time served, so I gave you the 8 days that you have in jail. So this case is closed. So if you have another case going on that you need to address, then you need to go address that case. But this particular case is done. All right. Have a great day, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Hernán Bernal Hernández.
Hernan Bernal Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, you're here in case 2021 MM 1547AO for arraignment on charge of criminal mischief. That's a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Represented by the public defender's office, Ms. Georgia, a plea you want to enter on behalf of your client.
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Sir, I want to accept your plea of not guilty. I'm going to set you for pretrial in Division 63.
It's going to be Division 63 pretrial conference, July 1st at 1 p.m. in 12C.
All right, and he has 47 days credit time served, so.
Okay.
That's gonna run out of real estate soon. All right, have a great day, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? No, good morning, sir. I apologize. Tell me your name.
Miranda Aguilar. Misael Miranda Aguilar.
Cover your face, sir.
Misael Miranda Aguilar.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 163AA on a charge of criminal mischief. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. We want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. Ms. George, you have a plea on air on behalf of your client.
Not guilty, Your Honor.
So I want to set you for pretrial in Division 80.
Pretrial conference, June 23rd at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Have a great day, sir. I had a Correger.
Whoever's here for correction. The victim.
Does the victim need an interpreter, or does the? All right. He's in mental health? All right. All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Corger in case 2021 MM 3864AL.
Your Honor, I'll waive the appearance.
All right, Madam Interpreter, I need your help with the victim here in a moment. I did review the charging affidavit for the charge of battery and domestic violence. I did find probable cause for Mr. Corger's arrest. Madam Interpreter, I need you to switch to the overhead if you can.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Señora, por favor, dígame su nombre completo y deletree el apellido.
Valeria Corregel, mi apellido es Corretjer.
¿Y el nombre cuál fue?
Valeria.
Valeria. Valeria Corretjer. Corretjer.
Ma'am, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Señora, por favor, levante la mano derecha para prestar juramento.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Y promete que el testimonio que va a prestar será la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad. ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Lo juro.
I swear.
Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Corger?
Señora, dígame de qué conoce usted al señor Corretjer.
Es mi hermano.
He is my brother.
Right. And do you want to have contact with your brother while this case is pending?
¿Usted desea tener contacto con su hermano mientras la causa está pendiente?
Sí.
Yes.
Has anything like this happened in the past between you two?
¿Algo similar a esto había ocurrido en el pasado entre ustedes dos?
No, es la primera vez.
No, it is the first time.
Did drugs, alcohol play a role in this incident?
En este incidente, ¿las drogas o el alcohol tuvieron algo que ver?
Yo sé que él se medica pero no creo que fuera por eso. Yo creo que fue por la situación que está pasando económicamente y por el estrés, pues se desquitó conmigo, pero no, yo no quiero hacer cargo sobre él.
I know he medicates himself, but I don't think that had anything to do with this incident. I think it has to do with the economic situation he's going through. It stressed him, and he took it out on me. But I don't want to press charges.
Okay. Does he see a mental health doctor while he's out?
Cuando él está libre, él se ve con un doctor de salud mental.
Yo sé que cada semana o cada 2 semanas el doctor lo llama por FaceTime.
I know that every week or every 2 weeks the doctor calls him through FaceTime.
All right. All right, I'm going to set his bond in this case at an amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. He's have no hostile contact with you.
Muy bien, entonces se establece fianza en este caso por la cantidad de $250 bajo la supervisión del programa de libertad provisional y se le prohíbe el contacto hostil entre ambos.
It means no fighting, no yelling, no threats.
Eso lo que significa es que ustedes no pueden pelear, no pueden gritarse ni amenazarse.
Ok. Y tengo una pregunta sobre el juez. Por el momento yo no tengo para dónde irme, pero vivimos sobre la misma casa. Pero él me puede dar un tiempo para yo poderme mover, pero aunque estemos viviendo juntos.
Well, I have a question to ask you, Your Honor. Right now, I don't have anywhere to go. We live in the same house.
I'm allowing him to return home. So he's coming home if he bonds out.
Yo le estoy permitiendo a él que regrese a la casa. Si él paga la fianza, regresará a la casa.
No, claro, sí.
All right. He cannot possess any
Of course,
weapons or
yes.
firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release.
A él se le prohíbe tener todo tipo de arma y arma de fuego. Si él tuviese alguna, tendrá que entregarla a las autoridades a las 24 horas de ser puesto en libertad.
Ok.
He has to keep all his mental health appointments.
tiene que participar y presentarse a todas las citas médicas relacionadas a la salud mental.
He has to take all medication prescribed to him in the dosage that is prescribed on the medication.
Se le ordena también que se tome todos los medicamentos que se le hayan recetado según la dosis recetada.
He's not possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia y consumo de drogas y alcohol sin receta.
All right. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Señora, que tenga buen día.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. I think that was it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have a great day. All right, tell me your name, sir.
Xavier Brown.
Mr. Brown, you're here in case, in Osceola County case 2021 CF 4515 AO on, I believe, charges of an out-of-county warrant on charges of battery, domestic violence, and battery by strangulation, domestic violence. I believe Judge Laurent saw you yesterday. And we just need to give him a bond as to count
2.
2? Okay.
Your Honor, we have a witness present.
Was the victim present yesterday too?
I have no paperwork as to that.
I had no prior knowledge because he has my phone hostage. I don't
Okay.
have any type of communication.
All right, so that's why I was concerned when I saw this case today. Mr. Brown, actually, ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
My name is Diamond Muhammad, Muhammad.
All right. All right. One question. Ms. George, can you do me a favor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Actually, Ms. Brown, Ms. Muhammad, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. You say he has your phone, or a piece of your property, or is a
Yes,
phone?
sir. During the altercation, he got mad because he thought I was talking to other males. So I unlocked my phone. He took my phone, ran. When I tried to reach for my phone, he choked me. I tried to reach for my phone again. He pushed me down on the ground. This is not the first time. I warned him before. I said, you do this again, I'm leaving you and my mom is going to call the police. And that's what happened.
All right. Ms. George, can you find out if there is a phone or where the phone may be at this time?
And also,
Oh, one second.
okay.
Yeah. She's here or something. I don't know. It's just- Correct. Correct. No, that's all.
Your Honor, it's not in his possession at the jail, but he does have it.
All right.
But for the courts, for the record, he is disputing, all the allegations as to how the phone was taken.
Okay. That's how my concern right now. All right, so as a count one, what I believe is battery domestic violence, I'm going to state a bond that Judge Laurent said amount of $1,500. Count two, battery by strangulation, I'm going to set your bond a certain amount of $2,500. You should qualify for pretrial release from Osceola County, so I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Condition your pretrial release should have had no contact with the victim in this case. You're to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return to any shared residence that you guys may have to retrieve any personal items you have from there. In order that you return the property that's in your possession to the pretrial release officer. Do you understand that? So Osceola pretrial release is gonna contact you. You need to report there within 24 hours of your release. So that means whenever you bond out here, you need to go to Osceola County Jail, report the pretrial release there, check in. You need to return that property to the pretrial release officer. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Judge?
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident, ma'am?
No, sir.
You guys have any children in common?
No, sir.
All right, tell me what you got to say.
We share a car in common. Both of our name is on the registration.
Okay.
I would just like access to the car because, I pay most of the payments on the car. So I guess my phone is inside the car and I
Where
guess
is the car?
the keys to the car is in his possession. The car is at his mother's house.
All right. As to the car situation, I'll let you deal with that division judge in Osceola County.
Okay.
You guys can figure that out, where the car needs to be sold. Something needs to happen with your shared car.
My
I'm not-
cell phone is inside the car if it's not
Yeah.
on his person.
If it is, then you probably know his mom's number and can call her.
He doesn't answer. We have no type of communication.
I already ordered him to return. So pretrial release services from Osceola County
Okay.
is gonna contact you.
I don't have no phone.
They're gonna go to your house, send you a mail. I don't know, how'd you get here?
I had somebody drop me off.
No, so how did you know about this court date?
I had used my brother's phone.
All right, so you call pretrial release services in Osceola County.
Yes, sir.
So probably now time in the next few days, they should have your phone, all right?
Okay.
So I'm ordering that property to be returned to the pretrial release officer.
Okay.
All right, have a good day.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't worry. All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Markel Ison.
What's your name again?
Markel Ison.
Yeah, I thought I said we didn't need to see him. That's the gentleman that revoked his bond, and I don't know why we were seeing him this morning.
Your Honor,
Bond back. They gave my bond back. 2 days now. This is my 4th day here. I bonded out on my charges. Then they said the captain called and said I couldn't get out because I had to see the judge again. I seen the judge yesterday, and she said I got a $5,000 bond. Now they're making me come back to you. Like I already paid my bond and stuff.
All right, so for understood, you got arrested on a new case, correct?
No,
And there was an old case that was out there, correct?
It was an old warrant. When I got picked up for my warrant, I had caught that case with the warrant. So it was basically like I got served the old warrant too. I really didn't catch no new charge.
Your Honor, he was out on bond in possession of a firearm by a convicted felon
Right.
at 20 CF 14898. And it looks like he recently picked up on the 3rd a resisting without and a possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Correct, because I think I saw him.
Yes.
That was
I think I saw him last week, correct?
no, you saw me 4 days ago.
That's what I'm saying, like today's Monday, so
They had me come in
like Friday, Thursday or Friday. And I believe on Thursday or Friday, I revoked your bond on the old case, the old possession of firearm by convicted felon case.
Yes, and then the judge gave me it back the next
What
day.
judge?
okay, so what happened, to my understanding, because I wasn't here over the weekend, that they brought him to court for some reason over the weekend. Judge Laurent gave him a $5,000 bond on that old case.
No, she has no authority to do that. So your bond's no bond, as to your old case. You need to talk to your division judge. Let's Judge Laurent is his division judge.
No, the weekend judge, Judge Laurent.
I'm not saying she's she's a circuit judge, so I'm not sure that's assigned to her division.
It's not. The out on bond case is in Division 20 with Wooten.
I prayed my
Yeah, so you need to go talk to Judge Wooten about getting your bond back,
keep
not Judge
bringing me up
Laurent.
here. This is my 4th day up here.
I have no idea what happened.
No, but they gave it back. All right.
He was not supposed to be here. I have no idea what happened. I know why he's here.
It's just a new order, it just needs to stay that it needs to go back to no bond, because she did give it a $5,000 bond.
They keep bringing me back here every day.
Yeah, okay, we'll deal with it. Well, the email told her to bring
I
it.
gotta revoke my shit, man. They just can't get my bond. I already paid my bond.
Judge Wooten is a judge that's authorized to give you a bond as to that case.
I know, but they brought me here 4 days in a row now. You revoked my bond, and then I guess Polikoff had endorsed my bond, and then they gave me my bond back the next day that I left you. They gave my bond back. It was a Caucasian judge, and then it was like after I paid my bond, they said that I got to see a judge again, so they made me come back to court.
Sir, I'm sorry that happened to you. I don't know why they brought you back here. But you know, my order was that you be held on no bond
You can't
until
give
you
my
go
bond
see
back?
Judge Wooten.
So you can't give me my bond?
I took it away, and that's the reason why. And I told my instructions were on the order that I left, which I don't know why somebody decided that they were going to violate that order or change it without, because my instructions were, you be held in no bond until you get in front of Judge Wooten for a bond hearing.
But you had the power to give me my bond back too, so.
Not right now.
So
I
why
already
they
revoked
give
it.
me 5,000? They made me pay already for my bond. That's what I'm saying. I already paid
Two
it.
things already need to happen, all right? Which is the reason why it's not legal. One, if I already revoked your bond, your bondsman needs to come to court and/or send me a letter in writing telling me that he's going to go back on your bond for me to give you your bond back. So I can't give you your bond back. So the judge can give you a new bond, which is authorized, they're authorized to do. But that person that was authorized to do that based on my revocation was Judge Wooten, who's your division judge. Not Judge Calder, not Judge Laurent, not Judge Caraballo, whoever was here. I don't know who was here. But in any of those people, that was my order that I left you with last week.
So I gotta have Polikoff. What? That's not making no sense, bro. So why I just not trying to come here no more because they messing up my time. I'm trying, like, it's messing me up. Like, keep getting my expectations up, making me come back, telling me I'm going home. That's messing me up. I'm trying to get home to my daughter. I'm trying to see my daughter.
Yeah, I apologize for that, sir. Now, I don't know what happened, but you need to go talk to Judge Wooten about getting your bond back. No bond. Zero bond. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
John Barber.
Mr. Barber, you're here in case 2021 CF 6650AO on charge of aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, I did find probable cause for your arrest.
It was no.
Don't talk about
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that's right.
Hold on. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond that you had no contact. Actually, with pretrial release supervision. You had no contact with the victim. You need to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You cannot possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case?
Your Honor, did you give a one-time return?
Yep. One-time return with law enforcement. You have a shared residence to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. So I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement.
One-time return. But what if she agrees to stay away from the house and because all
That's why I said maintain a separate residence.
Oh, okay.
So if she's not at home, she's no longer in the restaurant. She moved out and went somewhere else.
Okay,
you go
okay.
home.
Yeah, okay.
If she's still there, then you gotta go there with law enforcement, get your stuff, and stay away until things change. But you need to work with pretrial release to make sure that happens.
Okay.
You don't violate my orders. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Tell me your name, sir.
Charlie Lee Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, you're here in case 2021 CF 6670 AO on charge of aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence, and battery dating violence. Did refute the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $7,000, count 2 $500. Condition on your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. That you maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Excuse me, the location is my house.
Okay?
She
That's
don't,
why I said maintain a separate residence. Did I say,
okay, thank you, I'm
did
sorry.
I say no, do not return to the scene? I said maintain a separate residence.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me your name, sir.
Dante Matthews.
Mr. Matthews, you're here in case 2021 CF 6680 AO on a charge of aggravated assault with a firearm in 2 counts and neglect of a child in 1 count. There you go. I did find probable cause for your arrest in this case. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Brittany Baker, Baker.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Put your hand down, ma'am. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Matthews?
my child's father.
I can't hear you.
He's the father of my child.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes,
Are you afraid of him? I can't hear you, ma'am. I'm sorry.
no,
You said no?
I don't think he will hurt me. I don't think he will hurt us. I just think
Wait. Just take a breath. Breathe. I'll try it again.
I just need him to get help. He has anger problems.
All right. All right. And did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No, sir.
All right. I'll let you know, Ms. Baker, that most people that are involved in domestic violence incidences don't have an anger issue. That's not really the issue that's going on. It's something deeper than that, all right? So it's just not, learning to take a minute and pause and those kind of things like that. That's not the issue, all right? Say you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Matthews. Actually, one more question. Did he sign a birth certificate for this child?
No.
No? Has he been declared by a court to be the child's father?
No.
All right, does he pay child support or anything like that?
No.
All right. All right, so Mr. Matthews, I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $2,000, count 2 $2,000, count 3 $500. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have any questions about the no contact order? All right. Have a great day, sir. Have a great day, ma'am. I need you to step right in front of a mic for me. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Can you tell me your name?
Derek Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, you're here in, case 2021 CF 6681 AO on charge of aggravated battery with a motor vehicle criminal mischief of $1,000 or more, battery, domestic violence, resisting officer without violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this matter. Going to set your bond in count 1 in amount of $10,000, count 2, $1,000, count 3, $500, and count 4, $500. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the witness in this case, the victims or any witnesses in this case. That you not return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're out on bond in 2 cases, 2021 CF 79AO. You're also out on bond in case 2020 CF 13459AO. In both those cases, going to revoke those bonds. We'll set new bonds at $0 in those cases. You have any questions about the no contact order, sir? All right, have a great day, sir. All right, tell me your name, sir.
Yukendra Tikaram.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 6682AO on charges of felony battery, tampering with a witness and hinder communication with law enforcement. You coming in, not coming in? All right. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
My name's Jasmine Buttour, Buttoor.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I can put your hand down. Ma'am, you are here in case 2021 CF 6682AO. I'm sorry. How do you know Mr. Tinkermer, is it Tinkeram?
Tikram.
Tikram. How do you know Mr. Tikram?
He's my husband, sir.
And do you want to have contact with your husband while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
It happened before, but it was just a
You
misunderstanding.
gotta move the mic from the baby. There you go.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
It happened before, but it was a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of him.
One second. Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
Yeah.
All right. If something like this were to happen again, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
All right. And State, you have questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And this battery case in 2016, was this the same victim, different victim?
Pardon?
Oh,
I have
as long as I say Florida, apologize.
I have a 2021 non-arrest, bat DB, bat by strangulation, aggravated assault DV. That was the same victim. She declined to prosecute. That was from January of 2021. I have a 2021 felony battery and tampering with a witness. The same victim as well, Your Honor. And then I have a 2015 misdemeanor battery and VOP. And in that case, it was a different victim.
All right. All right, sir. In this case, I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in amount of $5,000, count 2, $1,000. Additionally, your bond is you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Now, one more question. Is he the father of the children?
Yes, sir.
All right. Condition of your bond as well that you maintain support of these children. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 114AO. In that case, I'm going to revoke that bond. I'm going to set a new bond at $0 in that case.
Sir.
I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this matter. You can talk to your division judge if you need to get out, want to get out. Have a great day, sir. I'm sorry, no weapons, no firearms. Sorry. No weapons, no firearms. Yeah, 24. All right, this case 2021 MM3858AO, Mr. James Austin. We'll appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance.
Mr. James Austin was arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I did find probable cause for his arrest. Sir, hello. Can you tell me your name and spell your last
I
name?
believe
Hussein Alabda.
Oh,
he's
sorry.
the witness for the
Oh,
next
sorry.
case.
Y'all just sticking people in the box. All right. All right, look at me, first of all. All right. Now, as Mr. Austin, we're going to set his bond in this case in the amount of $1,000. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision. I will allow him to return to New York. I believe that's where he's from. Condition of his pretrial release is that he'd have no contact with the victim. He need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give him one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items he has at a shared residence. He may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. All right. Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Crystal Avendano.
Ma'am, you're here in case 2021-3880AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review your charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Sir, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Al Hussein
All right,
Alabda.
look. I will give you one last chance. Do you just slide this way? Look at me. All right. Tell me your name and spell your last name.
Al Hussein Alabdali.
All right.
Alabdally.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Can you tell me how you know is Anavant? Say the last name again.
Avendano.
Miss Avendano. Can
That's
you tell
my
me how you
wife.
know her?
That's my wife.
All right. And do you want to have contact with her?
Yes, I want to have contact.
All right. Is your wife like you guys are legally married, or you telling me? Huh?
Yes.
All right. And has anything like this happened in the past between you two?
Never.
If something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
After what happened this time, no. It shouldn't have. She shouldn't be here.
Okay.
She never should have been here.
All right. Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
Say you got any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to set your bond at count one amount of $250 is going to cover pretrial release supervision. You have no hostile contact with your husband. No hostile contact means this. You can be upset with him that he left the toilet seat up. He's not treating you the way you want to be treated. Those kind of things like that are natural in a relationship. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point where he's going to call law enforcement, or like in this case, where somebody sees or hears you all arguing, is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will be arrested. You'll spend remaining your time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
How do I pay her bill?
You can go downstairs and pay it, or
Pay it right now in the letter.
the bondsman. Yep, it's up to you.
Can I tell her I'm waiting for her outside?
Say again?
Crystal, I'm waiting outside. Can you tell?
It's gonna take a while. It's not Kmart. So she gotta go downstairs, be processed out. You gotta go out there and talk to the people from downstairs about her bail.
Like
So,
2 hours,
all right.
3 hours?
Have a great day, sir. All right, can you tell me your name, sir?
Andre Benson.
Mr. Benson, you're here this morning in case 2021 MM 3873AO on charge of battery, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in count one at an amount of $10,000, count two, $500. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can you tell me your name, sir? Mr. Barrios, you're here in case 2021 MM3878AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $5,000. Additionally, your bond is you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You are subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Carlos.
What's your full name?
Carlos Cardona.
Mr. Cardona, you're here in case 2021 MM3872AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Can somebody tell me this prior DV case is involving the same victim?
Your Honor, that was from 2010? No, hold on.
Is it 2010?
I don't believe it happened in Orange County, Your Honor. One second.
When did you say that was?
The one in 2020, it was a different birth date. It was not the correct defendant, Your Honor. I don't believe this occurred in Orange County.
All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You're to have no contact with the victim in this case. You're to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return. You have a shared residence to retrieve any personal items you have at that location with law enforcement. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, I did find that case. It was an Osceola case. It was from 2017. It was a juvenile case. It was the same victim, Emily Cardon.
All right. Well, you're not a juvenile no more, so you're not a juvenile anymore, so have a great day, sir.
You too.
Can you tell me your name, sir? Mr. Daly, you're here in case 2021 MM221AA on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, oh yeah, there you go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Renette Tullis, Tullis, Tullis.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Daly?
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
Am I reading this right? This is, yes, an aggravated battery deadly weapon and a battery DV case, two of them with the same victim?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes,
So he's
Your
been arrested for domestic violence with you before, correct?
Yes.
All right, so when I asked you, did anything like this happen in the past, you told me no.
Oh, well, I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
Well, you need to listen to my questions because they're important, okay?
Okay.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
Your Honor, it was an ag bat with a weapon in 2006, misdemeanor bat DV in 2012, and a misdemeanor bat DV in 2015.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Daly, I wanted to set your bond in this case in amount of $10,000. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would ask that you, did you say 10,000, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I would ask that you consider lowering it. He is a military vet, and I believe if you issue the no contact, that would help with the alleged violence that's going on between the couple. But I just ask that you take that into consideration, his military service and the fact that his last, looks like conviction was in 1991.
All right, so Mr. Daly, if you're having some issues, you need some treatment, you need to go down to Lake Nona to the VA to make sure you're getting whatever you need. Right now, I'm looking at the victim with a swollen left eye that's pretty much shut closed. I'm also listening to her tell me that she wasn't involved in a DV case with him before, and that drugs and alcohol was not involved in this case, which I'm not sure, from reading this report, how she convinced herself of that. So I have some concerns about her ability to, protect herself from Mr. Daly. So that's why I set the bond in this way it's set. You have a great day. Have a great day, sir. Have a great day, ma'am. All right, can you tell me your name, sir?
Daniel De Reganis.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 3867AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to,
Yeah, he qualifies.
okay. Going to set your bond in this case in amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. I appointed the public defender for Mr. Daly, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Lindy Domage.
Ma'am, you're here in case 2021 MM 3877AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case in amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you have at that residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Randy Fernetti.
Ma'am, you're here in case 2021 MM 347AW on a charge of battery dating violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for battery, but the relationship wasn't described as dating.
Understood, Your
It's
Honor.
not an intimate relationship. Yep, but, yep, for dating violence, they had to be in intimate relation within the last 6 months. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Danny Chancellor, CHANCELLOR.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you tell me how you know Mr. Fernetti, Ms. Fernetti?
It's my girlfriend.
All right, and do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Are you afraid of her?
Not at all. She doesn't have a violent bone in her body.
All right. Well, has anything like this happened in the past?
Never. Nothing even happened this time.
All right. Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Fernetti, I'm going to release you in this case on pretrial release. Condition of your pretrial release in this case that you have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. So you can be upset with him that he left the toilet seat up, came over to your house, made a mess, didn't clean it up, or anything else that usually causes conflict in a relationship. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point whether he's going to call law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you will be arrested. You'll spend the remaining of your time here while this case is pending at the Orange County Jail. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Harrison, sir.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 3875AO on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Is he in probation in Georgia? That's what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna set your bond in this case, in the amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond that you do not have any contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return to any shared residence with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. All right, I see you're on state probation in Georgia, so they may take you into custody when you get back, but not taking any action on your case right now. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Ma'am, you are here in case 2021 MM 3869AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case at about $1,500. Condition of your bond that you not have any contact with the victim in this case. So you must maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. If you have a question, I'll have you speak to Ms. George first, because everything you tell me is on the record.
I can't stay here.
to me? There's a way I could get an ROR for like I was told we was pre-trial. But he hit me. Look at my eye. He's my husband. I love him. I love him to death. He doesn't want to press charges. And in the police report, it says they do not want her to go to jail. So he doesn't want to press charges. That's why he doesn't.
I cannot hear you or understand what you're saying. If you need to talk, if you're trying to talk to me, then I need you to cover your face and to speak directly to the mic.
Show up because he doesn't want to press charges. In the police report, it says he does not want to press charges and he doesn't want me to go to jail.
That's not his choice. It's up to the state of Florida whether they're going to press charges or not. They have the absolute authority and jurisdiction to do that, with or without a victim sometimes. I'm just being truthful with you, seeing people get convicted by a jury. No victim ever showed up.
Okay, can I speak to you?
So, all right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Juma Ramadani.
Is your first name Juman or is your last name?
My first name is Juma.
Your first name is Juman?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is flipped on the paperwork I have here. Yep, they got it wrong. So, say you want to take some action as to that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ramadani, you're here in case 2021 MM3851AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You do have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the shared location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Yeah, hand it, man. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Barry Letson.
Mr. Letson, you're here in case 2021 MM3874AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set you, battery dating violence. I did set your bond in the amount of $500. Condition of your bond would be pretrial release supervision. You had no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Marquise Quayshawn McBride.
Mr. McBride, you're here in case 2021 MM3876AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Payne, you're here in case 2021 MM 3871 AO on a charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
You have a quick question? So,
Oh, wait, what? You talk to Ms. George. Everything you asked me is on the record. It can be used against you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Josué Manuel Ruiz.
Mr. Ruiz, you're here in case 2021 MM 3852 AO on a charge of battery dating violence. You're also here in case 2021 MM 3853 AO on charge of resisting officer without violence. Did review both those charging affidavits. Did find probable cause for your arrest as to both charges. Sir, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
J. Vasquez, Vasquez.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Ruiz?
He's my fiance.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes.
Has an instance of domestic violence happened between you all in the past?
Once before.
How long ago was that?
Couple months ago.
Couple months ago?
Yeah, the last time he was here. That was the last time.
All right. And if something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
I do.
Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
Alcohol did, yes.
All right. State, questions for the witness.
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George.
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that previous incident that Mr. Vasquez mentioned was from February.
All right. All right, Mr. Vasquez. Oh, well, Mr. Ruiz is more directed towards you. Sir, in both your cases, 2021 MM 3852 AO and 2021 MM 3853 AO, will set your bonds at an amount of $500 on each case. Both those cases be subject to pretrial release supervision. You have to have no contact with this victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you all have at a shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases. You have a great day, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, can I have a question? So he's not able to contact me, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So they can get higher bonds. You want to ask, you want to sign that now, so make it easier for you?
Your Honor, I guess given the situation that he's getting ready to.
Are you still on mute? Because I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. He's getting ready to, actually, his lease is up. That's his apartment. He's getting ready to move all of his belongings out to move to a new place.
Okay.
I don't know if he can do that with the one-time escort.
Well, it's maintaining separate residence, so I don't know if you all share a same residence or whatever the situation is.
With me, that the apartment's on the mine. It's my apartment's on
Okay.
the lease. He's not on the lease.
So if he leaves, then he leaves. If the lease ends, then you guys can't live together.
No,
That's
no,
the thing.
That's understandable.
So if he leaves, and so if he needs to find a new place to live when the lease ends next month, and you need to find a new place to live, or you want to renew the lease under your name only?
I'm giving up my apartment. I'm actually just planning to go back home.
Yeah, so sounds like a plan to me.
Plan to go back home. Where? I'm sorry.
Where are you going back home? You gotta tell pretrial release.
Boston, Your Honor.
Boston? So I'm allowed to return to Boston. If you have a valid address, you can provide a pretrial release. All of my same orders apply in Boston. So if you violate those orders in Boston and you're arrested for violating those orders in Boston, they're gonna put you on a little bus and send you back to Florida.
You can go back. You can-
Yeah, and if it becomes an issue, you always talk to your division judge, Judge Wayne Shoemaker. All right. We get both those cases to go to 50. Get both his cases to go to 50. I was asking. No? All right. I'm not gonna worry about it. I know. I know. Because they gonna get charged in one information. It doesn't make sense. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Morning, Your Honor. Regina Seri.
All right, Ms. Siri, you're here in case 2021 MM 3865AO on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. Sir, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Yes, my name is Juan C. Ballas. My last spelled Ballast.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
And you put your hand down, sir. Sir, can you tell me how you know, is it Sierra Bearer? How do you say your last
Seri, Regina Seri.
Sari. Can you tell me how you know Miss Sari?
We are both from Miami, Florida.
All right.
And we met in 2011. And we've been together for a lot of years.
All right. And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes, I want to have contact with her, but I want her to seek help.
All right. Well, I can't make her seek help other than if she's already receiving help.
I need to file actually an injunction with the cops that told me because she does want to leave to her uncle's house. And, you know, I'm about to move in, 2 months already. She clearly doesn't want to be with me.
Okay.
So I just want to take, you know, the good route, you know, and.
All right. Were you the victim of this previous battery case?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. And do you think drugs and alcohol played a role in this incident?
No.
All right. State, you any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. In this case, I'm going to set your bond in an amount of $1,000. He's going to come with pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you all maintain a separate residence from each other. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at a shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms in this case need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Do you all have any shared children together?
Yes.
I have a daughter that, obviously, I
Well-
live with my daughter in his apartment. Obviously, I'm not gonna live there because of the no contact order. My thing is, when I bail out,
Okay.
his sister is the one that has my wallet. I will have to call her. I don't have my information.
No, let me speak. She can return and be peaceful.
I can't hear you. What are you saying?
She can return and grab her property and have contact with my sister.
Yeah, so
That's between them.
No, but I can't bail out.
Whatever, make sure whatever property that's hers is at the house when the law enforcement schedules the time to come. That way she can pick up all her personal belongings, take the baby, or I don't know if it is a baby, or a
Yeah,
child.
6-year-old.
That's what I said, the child.
Yes.
And then, she has to move out, whatever.
Okay.
Whoever's vacating needs to vacate. That's what I was
Yes,
gonna ask.
okay.
You guys need to maintain a separate residence.
All right, thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
All right, everyone have a great day?
Okay.
No, man. I don't think that's not a problem. All right, you just slide in front of a mic if you can, sir. Probably this way. Yep, there you go. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Thomas Spencer.
Mr. Spencer, you're here in case 2021 MM 3881AO on a charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Valicia Owens, last name Owens.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Spencer?
He's my kid's father.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Of course, I really want this case to be dropped.
All right. Well, has there been any other instance of domestic violence between you all in the past?
I mean, just like any other couple, they argue, so.
Well, there's a difference between arguing. So arguing is, I'm upset with you because, I don't know, he didn't, change the baby's diaper in time, or he didn't, let the toilet seat up, isn't helping you clean up, isn't helping you support the family, those kind of things like that. Those are arguments that happen. That's an argument. Like, well, we have to work through something. But it was described in this incident would be called domestic violence, where it was described where you said that he either struck you, choked you, all those kind of things like that. So, there's a difference.
I get it.
People have disagreements. That's okay. So the question is that has there been an instance of domestic violence between you all in the past?
I mean, they have been, but nothing major.
Okay. And the children, did he sign the birth certificate? Is he on child support?
He's not on child support, but yes.
He signed the birth certificate for the kids?
Yes.
Okay. And did drugs, alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
All right.
Your Honor, just for the record, there is a 2001 juvenile bat DV with a different victim and a 2020 non-arrest misdemeanor bat DV with the same victim.
Okay.
That's since been closed.
All right. Also, that actually, did drugs, alcohol play a role in this incident?
No.
All right. Ms. Owens, I apologize.
You're fine.
All right, Mr. Spencer, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,500. It's going to be conditional your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. So we condition your bond to continue to support these children. So if you guys have a shared bank account where bills are paid or things are taken care of for the children, you need to keep putting the money in the bank account. Do you understand that? I can't hear you.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Say you asking for any other conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would just argue that I understand the support for the kids, but I would just argue that it's broad. When you say support, is he having to make a monthly payment? Is that picking the kids up? Is that visitation?
It's financially supporting the children. So whatever they need, because he is their father, he needs to provide for them. Not setting a minimum amount, not setting a maximum amount. But if she needs, whatever she needs, how old are the children?
We have a 2-year-old and a 14-year-old.
All right, 2 and a 14?
Yes.
Yeah, 14-month or 14-year-old?
14-year-old.
All right, so a 2-month-old. 2-month-old, I don't know if he's potty trained?
No.
They're potty trained?
2-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Am I
We
hearing
got
this
a
wrong?
2-year-old daughter and we
Okay.
got a 14-year-old son.
All right. A 2-year-old daughter. Is she
Yes.
potty trained?
Not yet.
Not yet. So she's doing pull-ups and things like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Trying to
take
work on
care,
that?
I'm gonna
just,
take care.
I'm just trying to explain from Ms. George. So 2-year-old daughters she needs pull-ups. She probably needs clothes. I don't know if she's still drinking a bottle or anything else. She needs those kind of things to provide for her. The 14-year-old don't need much other than probably got them a cell phone nowadays and they're doing camp or she may have maybe a summer internship or job or something like that. Son. There's different things needed for those children. So I can't set
I
yeah.
understand that, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
so it's financially support the child for what that child needs is what my intention of the order is. So for the child's age, needs, their special needs, they have all kind of things like that. Whatever you've been doing before, because what happens is people get domestic violence cases. Somebody gets arrested. The person that's providing support or helping provide support, they're like, well, I'm not going to provide any more support.
Right, and
So
you're,
then to the victim now feels pressured that like, well, I don't want to go forward with this case because, I'm going to be out of money because, this person's not going to be supporting the kids anymore.
no, I understand that, Your Honor. I think that the issue becomes if there's no contact, where's he gonna be bringing these items to? I don't want it to be a situation where he violates the court order because he's trying to take care of the kid.
Right.
Well-
I understand that. As I said,
We actually stay together.
I would just argue.
So he also support in that way as well.
right. So that'd be also things like, so the kids gotta have a place to live. So you gotta make sure you're still paying your half of the rent or whatever you're doing to do that, make that happen.
I'm gonna do that, make sure my kids have somewhere to stay. I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying you, Mr. Spencer, in the case, but the situations happen where people then like withdraw financial support from the relationship, where the other person is fully supported by that person or partially or mostly supported by a person. And then that way, the victim now feels like, well, I have to I can't go forward to prosecuting this case. I can't go forward and seeking the help that either you may need or you both may need to end this kind of situation that's going on in your relationship. It seems to have been going on for at least 15 years because you have a 14-year-old, so around that number. So that's a situation that needs to be worked out.
Yeah.
So you can stop getting arrested, and then you won't have a problem with him anymore. And what I read in this charging affidavit doesn't need to happen anymore.
It was basically.
Don't talk about the fact.
Don't talk about the facts of the case. I'm just telling you,
I
like,
wasn't talking about facts, okay? I just said it was a misunderstanding. That was it. But
yeah, there seems to be when I see an oncurring misunderstanding, it's no longer a misunderstanding. You understand what I'm saying? It means that somebody needs help. Our domestic violence laws aren't really designed to punish people. They're really designed to help this person in the relationship so that they can have a healthy, functioning relationship with the other spouse, their other person. Because you need to be in this child's life for your 14-year-old child for their entire life, your 2-year-old child for their entire life. You all gonna have to deal with each other for as long as y'all live. That relationship has to be healthy for those children, not for you. I mean, for you guys, you are adults, but children suffer from that. They suffer from seeing that going on. You think that because they're 2 years old, they don't understand what's happening. They understand what's happening. They can feel that was going on in the household. The studies show it. So whether you believe it or not, evidence is there. So whether you all want to get help for yourselves, but at least for the minimum for the children involved in the situation, all right? All right, have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
We got the arraignments. All right. There it is. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Tiffany Yenser.
What's your full name?
Tiffany Michelle Yenser.
All right, ma'am, you are here this morning in case 2021 MM 3660 AO on a charge of battery dating violence. I did review this affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Where is Bay City?
It's in Michigan.
Michigan, okay. All right. All right, man, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any items you have at a shared residence. You may not possess you may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in your case. So, ma'am, you're allowed to go back to Michigan if you're, but don't violate my orders in Michigan. I'll send you cross country if you violate my orders. You understand that? All right, have a great day, ma'am. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right, can you tell me your name, sir?
Michael Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, you're here in case 2021 CT 4076AO for a charge of driving under the influence with a blood alcohol level above .20. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case, sir. Conditions of your pretrial release: you may not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol while without a valid prescription. You be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'm going to, who did you call? Yeah. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You're going to tell me about Dale, my first arraignment. Dale. Miss Dale bonded? No, she was arraignment. She bonded?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so she's gonna set her for outside arraignment? Yeah, that's it, she set for outside arraignment. All right, and Guerrero?
He's medical.
All right, this is 2021 CT 9018W. Mr. Guerrero's here for arraignment on charge of driving while license suspended. He's a public defender client.
I'll waive an interplea of not guilty.
All right, we're selling for Division 82.
Division 82 pretrial conference, July 19th at 10:30 a.m. in 10B.
All right, I had Ms. Lezama, Mr. Lezama.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you tell me your full name?
Jeremiah Ledesma.
Mr. Ledesma, all right, thank you. Mr. Sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean to mispronounce your name.
It happens a lot.
We try to do our best up here. We came with, phonics on it, but doesn't. All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 CT 1199AO on a charge for arraignment on a charge of driver license suspended. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer that was conveyed was an adjudication credit time served.
All right, and
Your Honor, I'm going to interplea of not guilty.
all right. He has 52 days credit time, sir?
Yeah, but I believe he's on probation.
Oh, you're on probation, okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea of not guilty, sir, and we're going to set you for pretrial conference in Division 84.
Division 84 pretrial conference is July 12th at 9 a.m. in 4B.
All right, have a great day, sir. I have, nope, I had Merck, or Marink? McRink. What's your name, sir? No, I had Dana Marink, 2021 CT 62AO.
She pled on 6-2, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. Then I had Nieves Rosado. Navarro, yeah, Navarro's Rosado. All right, he already bonded. And then, now Keith Young. All right, this case 2021 CT 312AE. Arrested on a charge of leaving the scene of an accident with property damage. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Young.
I'll waive an interplea of not guilty.
I'm going to set him for Division 81 pretrial conference.
Division 81 pretrial conference, July 2nd at 9 a.m. in 4E.
All right. And Michael Rodriguez. Okay, tell me your name, sir.
Michael Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here for arraignment in case 2021 MM 2946 AO on charge of violation of a repeat violence, domestic violence injunction for date violence. That is a first-degree misdemeanor, is punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Ms. George, do you want to enter a plea on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, going to accept your plea of not guilty. We're going to set you in front of Division 50.
Division 50, pretrial conference, July 6th at 1:30 and 7C.
Does anybody have anything else for this morning?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Go on a recess. You got anything to address on the record? All right. See y'all tomorrow.
Taylor May on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Letitia George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Sir, please tell me your name. You're here in 21 MM 3863, charged with trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause.
Your Honor, there was an offer in this case of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, in order to resolve the case today. I did speak to Mr. Milani, and he understands all the rights he would be giving up. I did speak to him about his out on bond case, and we would like to address the court as far as not revoking the out on bond since he's resolving the trespass today. The trespass seems to be at a grocery store. It looks like he was trying to buy beer. Your Honor, non-violent. And if you would allow him to accept the offer here today first, Your Honor, then he would like to address the court as to why.
All right, please raise your right hand, sir.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
All right. You heard what Ms. George just said. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on, before you say anything else, I need to ask you a couple questions. You understand the rights you're giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me about the rights?
No, Your Honor.
And you also understand that you're out on bond in a felony case, and this court might revoke that bond even if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Do you understand that? All right, is there something that you want to, well, first let me ask. You understand if you're on probation, this plea will violate that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything other than the state's offer to get you to enter a plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, how do you wish to plead to trespass on property after warning?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. What is it that you want to say to me, sir?
I would just like to say I apologize for any booking picture and any sort of inconvenience for the courts or anybody, time and money for just in general. Appreciate it.
Your Honor, Mr. Milani stated that at the time, he was going through some personal issues. He states that he was trying to stay out of trouble, so he's been having to be homeless because he's trying to stay away from family members and friends that are doing things that are illegal. And he got a little down and depressed and frustrated. He understands that he can't go back there. He understands that he can't do this because he's already out on bond. So I just ask that you take all of that into consideration. It looks like the last conviction wasn't until was all the way back in 2017. So he's accepting responsibility.
I have 2019.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I see it, the petty theft. I was looking at the
Okay.
last conviction at the bottom, Your Honor.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. All right, sir, at this time, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. I accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 2 days that you've been in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs. I'll give you a year to pay them. You understand you cannot return to the Circle K at 7350 Forest City Road. Do you understand that? All right, what says the state as to his out on bond case?
Your Honor, I'll leave that within your discretion. I understand the case that he just picked up was just a trespass. But the case that he's out on bond for is a violent offense. I don't believe, we have filed on it, the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon F3 and a criminal mischief M1, but I'll leave it within your discretion, Your Honor.
Mr. Maliani, you understand that while you're out on bond, if you get arrested for committing another criminal offense, your bond can be revoked and you'll be held at no bond.
Yes, I understand.
Based on your attorney's arguments here today, I'm not going to revoke your bond. Don't make me regret that. If I see you back here again, I will likely revoke it. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
All right, good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Kenneth Martin Jr. Oh, sorry.
21.
I'm guilty what I done.
Hold on a second, sir. Let me tell you what we're doing here today.
Okay.
So you were arrested on a warrant. I'm going to address your bond and your bond conditions today, but I can't accept a plea from you. And anything you say right now can and will be used against you later. It's being recorded. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So a warrant was issued for your arrest in 21 CF 123, charging you with attempted burglary of a structure and criminal mischief. Since another judge has already found probable cause and set your bond, I'll leave it at $1,000 on count one, $100 on count two. You understand that you're not allowed to return to the scene of this crime.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're also not allowed to have contact with any witness or victim in the case.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Just
I don't have-
wait.
Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
If you look at the face sheet, you'll see that he is currently living in a group home and is developmentally delayed, Your Honor. He does qualify for pretrial release. I would just ask that he's placed on pretrial release in this case. Or if you are inclined to set a bond, just set pretrial release on the on one count and then the $100 bond on the other.
What says the state?
Your Honor, state would ask that you set bond. Given his history, apparently he had the 2017 battery case and then the 2017 burglary conveyance and ag assault with a deadly weapon. So it seems like it's following kind of a pattern. So I just ask that you set bond so the trial division can determine a better outcome for Mr. Martin.
He has no convictions, Your Honor, it looks like. He's been deemed mentally unable to stand trial. As you can see, he does suffer from that.
This attempted burglary is not where he lives, right?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
ATT.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
No, it's okay.
All right, sir, at this time, I am going to place you on pretrial release. With special conditions, you're not allowed to return to, is it Trace Pawn Shop?
I'm reopening the warrant, Your Honor.
Yes, by MapQuest, his residence is approximately 2.3 to 2.6 miles away from both of the businesses.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you can't return to either business, but you can return home.
No.
Your Honor, he just,
I said you can. I didn't say that you have to.
Okay.
But you're not allowed to have contact with any of the witnesses in this case, and you can't possess a weapon, a firearm, or any ammunition. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also going to order that you comply with any physician's orders. So if any doctor tells you you have to do something or take medication, you have to take it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can we have him screened for mental health pretrial release? All right, so let's do that. Alternatively, regular pretrial release. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
I don't want to go back.
Mental health if he qualifies, yes. Please tell me your name.
Vicente Garcia.
21 CF 6662. You're here charged with attempted second-degree murder. I'm going to appoint the, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have that.
Is there any way to move him to the back of the Spanish interpreter cases? There's only 3.
So, do you want, oh, we can't do interpreter cases right now. Okay. Is that all of these? Okay. Well, that didn't work out.
The one that came up? No. Not that I know of.
Please tell me your name.
Jared Clark.
All right, you have an out-of-county warrant from Polk County in 21MM1129. Your bond is $1,000, and it's on a failure to appear. It looks like violating a check-in, but it might be on a driving while, oh no, that's a different one, that's a driving while license suspended. Oh, you have 2 from Polk County, 0073445. The bond is $3,000, and that one is on a driving while license suspended. We'll notify them that you're here so they can transport you, but you also have 21MM3862. You're charged with battery. There is probable cause in this case. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means? You must maintain a separate residence, and I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
So that was 3,000 on one of the warrants and 1,000
And
on the
1,000 on the other, yes.
Thank you.
21MM3866. I find her refusal a willing waiver of her appearance today. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office. There is probable cause. Her bond is $500. She may not return to the 7-Eleven at 4355 Silver Star Road or have any contact with a witness.
Dennis Hayslip, his behavior.
21MM3870. Trespass. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. There is probable cause in this case.
Your Honor, just ask that when setting the bond, you just consider, he has had multiple Baker Acts, and he's on Social Security income. So I just ask that you take that into consideration. And he's also a military veteran.
All right, thank you, Counselor. I'll set his bond at $250. He's not allowed to return to the Florida Mall or have any contact with any witness in the case. Please tell me your name.
Bobby Young.
This is 21 MM 3879, trespass in a structure or conveyance. There is probable cause. Was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer conveyed was an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to the 7-Eleven.
Can I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
I did speak with Ms. Jones, and we did go over the rights she would be giving up if she accepted the state's offer. She understood those rights, and she would like to accept the state's offer here today.
All right, Ms. Jones, please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I don't think she heard you.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Ms. Jones, how do you feel right now?
I need some medication.
I'm sorry?
Medication.
She says she needs some medication, Your Honor.
I don't feel too well.
What kind of medication?
The ones I take at home.
All right, it kind of looked like you might have been falling asleep there standing up, and I'm worried that you don't feel well.
I feel well, John. I
All-
do.
All right, so,
I had the same concern, Your Honor. That's why I went back to double check in the system. I don't see any competency issues from my system. And I did speak with Ms. Jones. She said she understood, but it was the same thing, a little bit of falling asleep. So I'm not sure if it's just because she needs her medication. Yeah, or if it's a competency issue, but she seems to comprehend everything and follow me when I spoke to her.
all right, Ms. Jones, I'm going to have you raise your right hand one more time to be sworn in, because I'm not sure I heard if you agreed to that.
You swear to tell the,
Raise your right hand.
you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You'll say yes or no.
Yes,
All right. You heard the state's offer here today. Is that something that you're interested in accepting?
yeah,
And you had an opportunity to speak with Ms. George before court. Do you understand all the rights you'd be giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest?
yeah,
Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
no,
You understand we won't be having a jury trial here. If you enter a plea today, I'll sentence you today.
all right,
Is that what you want?
yeah.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to enter this plea, other than the state's offer?
No,
All right. Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness?
I was,
I couldn't hear her.
I was,
You were? When was that?
long time ago.
A long time ago? And today, do you think that you're suffering from any effects of that mental illness?
No,
So are you able to understand what we're doing here in the courtroom?
do I go home today?
You will if I accept that plea,
Yeah,
and that's what you want to do?
yeah,
But you understand that this will be a criminal conviction,
yes,
and you told me earlier that you need some medication that you have at home.
I go next time, go get it.
But let me ask you, if you don't have that medication, can you still understand what we're doing here?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so you're not confused by anything we're doing?
No,
All right, at this time, how do you wish to plead a trespass in a structure or conveyance?
I'm going on the property.
No contest.
No content.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 1 day that you've been in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs.
Yeah,
I'm going to reduce that to a lien. But, Ms. Jones, you can't go back to that 7-Eleven. Do you understand?
right.
All right. You have 30 days to appeal in writing.
My name?
Yes, ma'am. Good luck. Have a nice day. Please tell me your name. 21 MM 3868. You're here charged with retail petty theft. There is probable cause. Was there an offer?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $250. You're not allowed to return to Walmart at 11250 East Colonial Drive. Do you understand? You do? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
And you're also not allowed to have contact with any witness in the case. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Frankie Avalon Borges.
You have to leave your mask on. In 21 MO 668, you're here charged with disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, I've been authorized on the city's behalf to offer a withhold credit time served.
Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak to Mr. Flores. We went over all the rights he would be giving up. He understands those rights and would like to accept the state's offer here today.
Please raise your right hand.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard what Ms. George just said. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand all the rights you're giving up?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're on probation, this plea could violate that?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about the rights you're giving up?
No.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything other than the state's offer to get you to enter a plea today?
No, ma'am.
All right, at this time, how do you wish to plead to disorderly conduct?
No contest, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the 2 days that you've been in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs. I'll give you a year to pay them. But sir, you can't go back to the Howard Vernon Motel or the 7-Eleven. Do you understand? Yes, sir.
I work at the 7-Eleven.
Oh, you work there?
Yeah, I can't go back on trespassing property of Howard Vernon. I work at the 7-Eleven.
All right. Strike the not return to 7-Eleven. Do you live at the Howard Vernon Motel?
Yes, there's a misunderstanding, but I can't be on the.
Oh,
property
sorry.
right now. So it gets sorted out. It's a civil.
It's okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can go back with the law enforcement officers and get your things, okay? All right, good luck, sir. You have 30 days to appeal in writing. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said the wrong person.
They sound similar.
Right. Thank you. Here you go. That's my fault. I'm sorry.
I'll take it. Thank you. Sir, please tell me your name.
Regine Flores.
You're here in 21 MO 669, charged with disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. Was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, withhold and credit time served.
And Your Honor, I did go over all the rights Mr. Flores will be giving up. He understands those rights and would like to accept the state's offer here today.
Please raise your right hand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, sir, you heard what Ms. George just told the court. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had an opportunity to speak with her before court. You understand all the rights you're giving up.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
Ma'am.
Did anyone threaten you or promise you anything other than the state's offer to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, you understand if you're on probation, this plea could violate that.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, at this time, how do you wish to plead to the charge of disorderly conduct?
Contest, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for the 2 days that you've been in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs. Do you have a job, sir?
No, ma'am, I'm homeless, ma'am.
I'm going to reduce that to a lien. All right, sir, you have 30 days to appeal in writing. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, please tell me your name. You're here in 21 CF 6649, charged with armed burglary of an occupied dwelling and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause in this case, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Does the state wish to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, as to count one, state would ask that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
All right. That is a punishable by life offense.
Yes, Your Honor.
At this time, I'll hold you at no bond on count one. I'll stay the bond at $500 on count two. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim, even while you're in custody. Do you understand what no contact means? All right, and at this time, I'm going to revoke your bond and your out on bond case. Good luck, sir. Oh, I'll sign that one. Thank you. Please tell me your name. A capias was issued for your arrest in 20 CF 211BO for failing to appear for a plea hearing on charges of burglary of a structure, grand theft of $5,000 or more, criminal mischief with damage of $1,000 or more, and breaking or injuring a fence. There is no bond authorized on this capias, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. In 20 CF 565, a capias was issued for your arrest for failing to appear for a plea hearing on a charge of possession of a controlled substance. Again, there's no bond on that, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Good luck, sir. Okay. Please tell me your name.
J. Daniel Franklin.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
J. Daniel Franklin.
21 CF 6652, you're here charged with trafficking in methamphetamines greater than 14 grams and possession of cannabis under 20 grams. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. There is probable cause for your arrest in this case. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is $50,000 on count one and $250 on count two. You're not allowed to possess or consume a controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand? You have to answer out loud.
Yes.
Thank you. You're also not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition, or have contact with any known drug dealers. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck, sir.
Did Mr. Denard bond? I'm sorry, Your Honor, he also bonded. Okay, thank you.
Oh. This one. Please tell me your name. 21 CF 6669, you're here charged with possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause in this case, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is at $1,000 on count one and $500 on count two. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand? You're not allowed to have contact with any known drug dealers. At this time, I'm inclined to revoke his out on bond case, Ms. George, unless you can give me a reason not to. It's the exact same case, same charges.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand, but if you look at the facts, it seems that he has a drug problem. He is currently employed part-time. Because they're nonviolent offenses, I would just ask that you not revoke and set at none. If you are inclined to revoke, that you revoke and maybe double the bond. That way he can keep the job that he currently has, as well as the fact that, again, Your Honor, it's nonviolent, it's personal use.
What says the state?
Your Honor, he does have a fairly lengthy drug history with convictions and arrests, and it looks like something potentially federal as well. Given that it's the exact same thing and it happened exactly 2 months apart, state would ask that you revoke. If you're otherwise not inclined, state would ask that you revoke and at least double.
Mr. Gomez, where do you work?
Ontiveros carpet installation.
You understand that a condition of being out on bond is you can't be arrested for committing any new law violations. You understand that? Based on your attorney's arguments, I'm going to revoke your bond at this time and double it. So on count 1, it'll be $2,000, and on count 2, it'll be $300 for your out on bond case. Same conditions, you can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription or have contact with any known drug dealers. Do you understand? All right, good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Shannon Hayes, good morning.
21 CF 6674. You're here charged with driving while license revoked as a habitual offender and grand theft of a motor vehicle. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Your bond will be $2,500 on count 1, $150 on count 2. You're not allowed to have any contact with any witness or co-defendant or victim in this case. Do you understand? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Is there any way that my...
Hold on, get closer to the microphone because I can't hear you.
I apologize. Ma'am, is there any way that my bond can be a bit lower? I do admit I drive on a suspended license, but I didn't steal nobody's car.
So,
I swear I didn't steal
hold on, before you say anything else, let me tell you what we're doing here today. I'm just setting your bond and your bond conditions. I've already found probable cause, but probable cause does not mean that the state can prove this beyond all reasonable doubt. It's just that there's cause to believe you probably committed the offense. And in this case, there is that. But if you have defenses that you think you need to raise, you need to talk to the Public Defender's Office. You'll have an attorney assigned to your case, and they can raise any defenses you have at a later time. I'm not going to change your bond. You have quite a lengthy criminal history and many failures to appear. So at this time, I'm not going to reduce it, but be in touch with your attorney. Good luck. Yes, everybody. Because there's co-defendants, victims, and witnesses. Please tell me your name.
Gerald Reynard Manning.
21 CF 6648. You're here charged with carrying a concealed firearm and resisting an officer without violence. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Ms. George, did you wish to be heard?
Only on the out on bond, Your Honor.
Okay. There is probable cause in this case. I'll stay your bond at $1,500 on count 1, $100 on count 2. You're not allowed to have contact with the co-defendant in this case. You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You are out on bond.
Yes.
Ms. George?
I would just ask that, Your Honor, if you're inclined to revoke, that you revoke and double. It seems that he was currently working out pretrial diversion is what I saw in the notes. He was doing pretrial diversion. He stated he never got the paperwork. I don't know what's going on with that, but that was the last note that I saw was pretrial diversion. I would also point to the fact that it seems his last conviction was in 2008. They look like nonviolent offenses, Your Honor. And this charge that he's out on bond happened in 2019. So I just ask that you take all of that into consideration.
What says the state?
Your Honor, this is a 2019 case. However, it is inherently dangerous, and he's picked up a new law offense of carrying a firearm without being properly licensed. State would ask that you revoke. And the underlying fleeing, it appears he did pull over for law enforcement. The law enforcement officer instructed him to place his hands on the steering wheel, which he did. He then instructed him to exit the vehicle. The defendant revved his engine and drove away from the officer. The officer was standing at the door when the defendant fled and still had the defendant's driver's license in his hands. So inherently dangerous for the officer, but fleeing in general is inherently dangerous for the community. And given that this is a 2019 case, it's been going on for an extremely long time. So state what asset you revoke. He's out on bond for a felony and he's found with a firearm. I understand he hasn't been convicted of it. However, he does have convictions for prior felonies. So he
Right.
arguably should not be in possession of a firearm at all.
Yeah, I appreciate the arguments from both attorneys, but at this time, I'm going to revoke your bond. So your attorney will have to file a motion in front of the trial judge. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Ziad Muchawar? I'm sorry.
21 CF 6684. You're here charged with possession of a controlled substance with a weapon, possession of cannabis under 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There is probable cause in this case.
And Your Honor, he does qualify for pretrial release, given that he has no convictions. He's employed full-time. He's lived in the Orlando area for over a year. I would just ask that he's placed on pretrial release. And if he violates, he'll be brought back here before you.
What says the state?
Your Honor, state has no objection. I believe he was rather forthcoming with officers, even though the officer saw furtive movements. When the officer asked if he had weapons or drugs on him, he did explain he had a firearm in the glove box. So due to his compliance with law enforcement, state has no objection to PTR.
All right, at this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. You're going to be subject to random drug screens. Do you understand that? You're also not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You're not allowed to have contact with any known drug dealers.
Your Honor, I would just ask on the cannabis, that you give him a 30-day grace period. On the other controlled substance, I don't know how long it takes to get out, but I know with cannabis, it takes at least the 30.
I'll grant that request, Counselor. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Dylan Ortiz.
21 CT 4075, you're here charged with reckless driving. And 21 CF 6667, you're here charged with fleeing or attempting to elude law enforcement officers. There's probable cause in both of these cases for your arrest, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Your Honor, he does qualify for pretrial release. I understand the seriousness of the fleeing and eluding. However, I would just point to his age. He's 18 years old. It seems that he just recently graduated from high school, 0 criminal history. So I just ask that you take that into consideration, the fact that he's employed full-time. I believe that if he's placed on pretrial release, this could be a wake-up call for him. And I don't see any other history that would indicate that he would not comply.
Where do you work?
Take 5 oil change.
What says the state?
Your Honor, I understand he otherwise qualifies. State has no objection to PTR. I would just ask for bond in conjunction with PTR, given the seriousness of the offense and the potentially dangerous nature of the offense.
All right, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. I'm going to say something to you, and I'm not asking you to respond to me, but I just want you to listen. It looks like you have no criminal history. I don't know why you were running from the law enforcement officers, but it looks like maybe a traffic infraction that you turned into a felony. This is a tough lesson to learn really young. So I'm placing you on pretrial release at this time. Good luck, sir. No. Please tell me your name.
Raymond Seeley.
21 CF 6666. You're here charged with possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. You can't possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription or have contact with any known drug dealers. Do you understand? You're also out on bond. At this time, I'm inclined to revoke that, Ms. George, unless you can give me a reason not to.
Your Honor, I would just argue that it is a nonviolent offense. It showing that, for the most part, he has nonviolent offenses in his criminal history. And it appears he may be transient, Your Honor. He's lived in the Orlando area for over a year. Last failure to appear was in 2018, so I just ask that you take all of that into consideration, and if you are inclined to revoke, that you revoke in double, being that they're both nonviolent offenses.
What says the state?
Your Honor, we actually filed 2 counts of petty theft 2 prior on that case. But in regards to the bond, state would ask that you revoke. He has a fairly lengthy history, including a conviction 4 months ago, also for, it looks like drugs. If you're not inclined to revoke, state would ask that you at least revoke and double. I understand defense counsel's argument that they're both nonviolent. However, this seems to be an ongoing issue.
At this time, Mr. Seeley, I'm revoking your bond. Your attorney can file a motion in front of the trial judge. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Michael Steele.
21 CF 6664. You're here charged with possession of MDMA. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. You're not allowed to have contact with any known drug dealers or possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand? Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Rashard Vicks.
Hold on one second. Looks like you have a warrant out of Osceola County in 16 CT 753 for violating probation on a charge of no valid driver's license. There's no bond authorized on this warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office, and we'll notify Osceola County that you're here. Good luck, sir. Probation on a no valid driver's license? All right. Is there anyone else, Dexter?
Just the interpreter cases, Your Honor.
Interpreter, that's right. Oh, you have them. Oh, they're right. Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Thank you. They're bringing our first one in now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please connect to the headset. Oh, you're connected?
Yes, Your Honor. The interpreter can confirm defendant can hear through the headsets.
Thank you. Sir, please tell me your name.
Vicente Lozano Garcia.
Vicente Lozano Garcia.
21 CF 6662. You're here charged with attempted second-degree murder. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in this case. There is probable cause.
No escuché bien lo que me está diciendo usted.
I couldn't hear what you just said.
No, lo de usted, lo a ti en español no te escuché a ti bien.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. We seem to have an echo for some reason. I'm having a little trouble hearing what's going on.
The volume, you gonna hear?
Oh,
Oh, it's been happening all day, the volume.
can we turn the volume up in the headset?
Yeah, I believe if he can only speak through the microphone on the podium, if he speaks through both microphones, then I think that causes the echo. Maybe we can try it this time.
All right, sir, let me know if you can understand me better now.
Sí, ahora sí, a usted sí.
Yeah, now I can.
All right. You're here charged with attempted second-degree murder. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause exists. Does the state wish to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I have reached out to a few of our homicide attorneys. And state's just asking for a high bond. State's asking for $1 million, with the intent to file also a pretrial detention motion. We believe this potentially is a first-degree murder. I'm not asking for a reset if you're otherwise inclined to submit a high bond. He does, I understand the face sheet does have no Florida convictions, and I double-checked that through CCIS, and I couldn't find anything. It does look like he was on probation for something, so I'm slightly unclear about his criminal history. However, this is an extremely violent crime in nature, many witnesses, and it arguably does seem premeditated. So state's just asking for a high bond with the intent to possibly file a pretrial detention motion before he's released.
Your Honor, I would just point to his criminal history, his employment. He's been here, looks like in a COE for over a year. $1 million bond is tantamount to no bond at all. He's not going to be able to bond out and afford that. It's the same as issuing a no bond in this case. I'd ask that you take into consideration his limited criminal history and his ties to the community.
Your Honor, state's concerned about the ties to the community. I see his place of birth country is Mexico. I do not know if he's a U.S. citizen, giving him possibly ample reason to flee from the charges. The act itself was extremely brazen in front of many people, and the witnesses said that the argument had died down, and it seems relatively premeditated that he went out to his vehicle and obtained a firearm and came back after the victim, after the witnesses had said that the argument had already been diffused.
And Your Honor, I'm not arguing that. I'm just arguing that if you set a bond as high as $1 million, again, it's tantamount to no bond at all.
How long will it take the state to file the motion for pretrial detention?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. I reached out to the homicide attorney, and I believe that's the intent. But I don't want to represent to the court that we are for sure doing it, because otherwise it will be held 5 days pending that motion. So I believe the homicide attorney is looking into it currently, and believes that it potentially is a first-degree murder as well. It's the first.
Counselor, I did review this probable cause affidavit. It is extremely violent. And I do understand the state's concern as to the defendant's ability and motivation to flee. At this time, I'll grant the state's motion and I'll set your bond at $1 million. You're not allowed to have any contact with any victim or witness in this case. Do you understand what no contact means?
Sí, pero mi pregunta es, ¿puedo hablar o no puedo hablar yo?
Clarification from the defendant, Your Honor.
Que si puedo preguntar algo o no puedo preguntar a usted o a ella.
Well, yeah, I understand, but I wanted to ask, can I ask you? Can I ask her?
If you have a question, you might want to ask your attorney first, because everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded and can be used against you later. If it's about the facts of the case, you might want to ask her first. But if you have a question about bond conditions, you can ask me. I mean, you can ask me anything you want.
Well, es que me están, bueno, a mí, second, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo se llama?
My apologies, Your Honor. The interpreter is hearing just a really bad echo. I'm having a large amount of difficulty understanding the defendant.
What if we take the headset off and he just does it over the loudspeaker?
Yeah, we can try that, Your Honor, see if it
Try.
rectifies the issue.
And then, before you say anything else, Ms. George, do you want to advise your client on the record?
Antes de que él diga algo más, licenciada George, ¿usted quiere avisarle a él en las actas?
Can you please advise the client that I am recommending he not talk about the facts of the case? Everything he's saying is being recorded, and due to the seriousness of the offense, I would suggest that he wait until he's one-on-one with his attorney before speaking about the facts.
Le estoy aconsejando debido a lo grave y lo serio que es este delito, que no diga nada en este momento. Todo lo que usted diga será grabado y será usado en contra suya.
All right, sir. Did you have a question, or do you want to wait and speak with your attorney?
¿Usted tiene una pregunta, caballero? ¿Usted quiere esperar para hablar con su abogada primero?
Voy a esperar al abogado.
I'm going to wait for the attorney.
All right. But you do understand what no contact means?
Pero usted entiende lo que significa no poder tener contacto.
You won't, sorry, for the interpreter, he nodded his head yes. You are not allowed to return to 12270 West Colonial Drive in Winter Garden. Do you understand?
A usted no se le permite regresar al sitio de 12270 West Colonial Drive en Winter Garden. ¿Usted entiende eso?
Correcto, sí. Sí, correcto.
Correct.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego, municiones o armas blancas.
Entiendo.
I understand.
You're also not allowed to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages.
No se le permite portar o consumir bebidas alcohólicas.
Entiendo.
All right, good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Talk to the attorney. Mhm.
We have two more individuals for the interpreter, and we're just going to use you over the loudspeaker.
Yes, Your Honor, and just for Your Honor's aware, I'm still having somewhat of an echo. It's a little bit better, but if we can talk a little slower just to see if I can catch up on that echo.
You want to try the headset again? Oh, you're still connected to the headset. Maybe that's part of the echo.
Let's try it now.
Okay. Sir, please tell me your name.
Octavio,
Señor, por favor, dígame su nombre, despacio y en voz alta.
Octavio Betancourt.
Octavio Betancourt.
21 CF 6653. You're here because it looks like on a charge of driving while license permanently revoked.
Usted está aquí en el caso 21 CF 6653, conducir con una licencia que está revocada de manera permanente.
There is probable cause, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Existe motivo fundado, le vamos a asignar a las oficinas del defensor público para que lo representen.
Your bond is $5,000, and you may not drive without a valid Florida driver's license.
Su fianza será programada en $5,000. No se le permite volver a conducir a que no sea que tenga una licencia válida de conducir del estado de la Florida.
In 19 CF 2535, you're here for a violation of probation.
En el caso 19 CF 2535, usted está aquí para incumplimiento de libertad vigilada.
And in 19 16658, you have another violation of probation charge.
En el caso 19 CF 16658 también está aquí en otro caso de incumplimiento de libertad vigilada.
I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in both of those cases, and you'll be held at no bond.
Voy a asignar las oficinas del defensor público que lo representen a usted en esos dos casos y usted será detenido sin fianza.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
Please tell me your name.
Por favor, dígame su nombre despacio y en voz alta, por favor.
Arturo Islas Méndez.
Arturo Islas Méndez.
It looks like you have a warrant out of Lake County in 19 CT 7355.
Parece que usted tiene una orden de arresto mediante el condado de Lake en el caso 19 CT 7355
for failing to appear on a charge of leaving the scene of an accident and no valid driver's license.
En un cargo de no comparecencia por fugarse de la escena de un accidente y no tener licencia válida de conducir.
There's no bond on that warrant, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Esa orden de arresto no tiene fianza en este momento. Le asigno a las oficinas del defensor público para que los representen.
We'll notify Lake County that you're here so that they can come and get you and take you back to Lake County.
Le vamos a avisar al condado de Lake que usted está aquí para que lo vengan a buscar y regresarlo usted al condado de Lake.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, caballero.
I believe that was the last case for the interpreter. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon, and my apologies for the technical issue.
No, I'm sorry for it as well. I don't know how to fix that, but thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.